Hey everybody, this is Regan Adams with All Things Regan. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's probably afternoon when you're watching it, so whenever you're watching it, thank you for joining. So I'm just getting back from my walk around my neighborhood. I have dedicated Monday through Friday to walking at least 30 minutes a day, including my intermittent fasting. So we started today. Of course, my friend is not going to not let me start. She's on my tail. So anyway, I had a conversation. I always start out with I had a conversation because I have really good conversations with people every day because I love them. But I was talking to one of my homegirls about really people are scared to be themselves. And I know where that comes from, especially with black folks, especially black folks in the church. We are not allowed to have opinions. We're not allowed to, I guess really being ourselves was not explored. So example, I can give you a few of them, but example, I was talking to somebody about our parents not talking to us about entrepreneurship, but they didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, so they can only tell you what they know. So it was basically they knew about college. You go to college and you stay at the same job for 20 years, get your pension and go home and retire. That's not necessarily what it looks like now. So there's a lot more entrepreneurship. There's a lot more different avenues, right? So I was also given an example of somebody that I know. Ingrid, I need to call you back. I'm sorry. I'm going to call you back. Okay. But there's like another example of somebody that I know who grew up in a Christian household, and they were a little bit different from the other people in the household. So they were a little bit more outspoken. They were like different, just different. And from what I saw were that they really wanted her to like scale back, don't say too much, like be quiet, just kind of fit into this box, when really this person was not an in the box person. They had a big personality. They were a truthful, very boisterous type person, which I love those type people, but it was kind of frowned upon for them to be them. Right? They needed to conform to the ways of being quiet, being, not seen, not heard, being kind of a mousy type of a person, when this person was not born to be that. And so what that in turn does as we get older, you ain't trying to get inside. Listen, you have no idea. That's why I need to talk to you, because I've had like a ton of stuff going on. So I'm in entrepreneurship on my stuff. So like adding stuff right now, we'll talk. I'll call you. So anyway, just it kind of pushes you back from being who you are. And being who you really are is scary. And it's scary because when you put yourself out there, you're being judged. And people don't want to be judged. A lot of the time we want to fit in. We don't want to stand out, because when we go out, it's like, okay, ooh, look at her, or ooh, look at him. He's doing this, or he thinks, she thinks, they're all that. Like somebody always has something to say. And while I am very open, example, I'm going to give you examples this whole time. I put up in a post that Kennedy cursed in front of me today. She did. She doesn't make it a habit, because I don't play that. Like, I don't curse. Side note, if I do, I'm extremely upset. I don't just, because I personally, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, I don't think cursing is attractive, especially for women. I just don't. So I don't make it a habit to curse. Those are my personal beliefs. But what I do know is, as a child in middle school, high school, trying to be cool and be an adult, we all cursed, trying to be grown and trying to be cool. So I am at full aware that the children are even more advanced, more than what we were. So yeah, she's cussing at school. And so a friend of mine, Facebook friend of mine, made a post, and he was like, kids get comfortable with cussing in front of their parent. And I know he was talking about my post, anyway. I'm not mad either. It was actually a good point for me to bring onto here. But just saying that kids get comfortable cursing in front of their children. I mean, their children cussing in front of their parents, and you wonder why the children are the way they are. First of all, for this particular person that I'm talking about, if you're watching, and you know I love you, so I'm not trying to talk behind your back or nothing. We can definitely have a conversation after this, which we always do because we have very good conversations. If I could guess, he would be the main, because he curses. But I bet, even in high school and in middle school, elementary school, I would dare to say, that he went to school, and when he was around his friends, he cursed. So what difference is it that you curse behind your parents' back and in front of them? Because for me, I much rather you curse in front of me. Not like that, because I make it known, don't curse in front of me. But when I hear it, I can correct it. And plus, I have a very good daughter. I really do. Like, for the most part, me and Kenny, listen, I couldn't really ask for a better child right now. I don't know what's going to happen on none, but right now, Kenny's a very good child. And I know that she is her own person, and I understand that she's going to make mistakes, and she's growing up, and I'm there to help correct that, right? Yes. I'm there to help correct it. And so when I put myself out there, when I put our business in the street, I am subject to be judged for that. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're going to be judged, and nobody wants to be judged. Nobody wants to go and say, hey, you know, I put this post up here, and then 2 minutes later somebody makes a post about what you just said. I've seen it so many times. They may not even like my status. They may not even comment on my status like he didn't, but he went and made a post about it. Do you know how many times I've seen that people doing that off of my statuses? But I have to get to the point where I don't care, because what I do understand is a lot of people will look at me and say, oh, she got all her stuff together. Oh, she's perfect. Oh, Kenny's perfect. They don't make mistakes. They are holier than thou. Listen to me. I've done some messed up things currently, past tense, gonna mess up. Kenny is not a perfect child. I'm not a perfect person. But what I want everybody to understand is I am a regular person, extraordinary person. My child is extraordinary, but we still make mistakes, but we still serve God, but he's still going to use us with our mistakes. And know that the mistakes that I've made, I learned from them, and I use them as a platform to elevate me, right? So I can't care what you think about me. I can't, or I would never do anything. I would never do anything. Never. It's sometimes, to be honest, especially when I have dreams, you know, about things that God has shown me, it is very hard sometimes to come on here and say, this is what I saw, or this is what was in my spirit. Let me share it with you. Because then people are like, who she think? God talking to her? Who does she think she is? God ain't say that. But here's the thing. I know how God speaks to me. And here's another thing. I know what my inbox looks like. Here's another thing. When I was talking about the crying yesterday, when I made that post, because before, and I want to do a whole separate video on this, and I will, because I don't like to get off in tangents, but I just go where the Holy Spirit say go. When I made that post yesterday about crying, I understand spiritually, not with my physical eye, that we are all in a transition in life. Everybody in the earth, whether you are saved or not, there is a transition taking place. And God is preparing us to do a few things. And you're going to have to start. That's why, man, I'm telling you, that's why I say it's very important right now to be saved and be keyed into what God is talking about, right? It's very important, because we're out in a transition season. And so before I left Knoxville, I found myself crying over everything. And I'm sensitive, low key, very low key, because I know I come across very stern, but we the biggest crybabies. We the ones that get our feelings hurt the most, right? But I was just crying, and I couldn't understand why. I was like, man, why am I doing all this crying? Like, I'm crying about everything, and I don't know why. And God said, you are grieving right now. Because a lot of the times, especially as Black people, we are used to things just happening in our life, and we don't deal with them. We say, oh, well, that happened, so let me just get up and go. Oh, well, my feelings got hurt. I didn't say nothing, so let me just get up and go. Oh, my relationship is not good. My feelings got hurt. He's doing something. She's doing something. Let me just get up and go. I'm not being treated well at the job. Oh, well, let me just get up and go. And we don't deal with stuff as they come. We don't deal with it. But God is really like, okay, you lost your friend. You lost your husband. You lost your wife. You lost your job. You lost your mother. You've lost a lot of things, and you got to deal with them now. You have to grieve those things now. You could be grieving children that have been lost. Maybe you've aborted them. Maybe you've lost them. Maybe you've lost self-respect. You've lost something. You are grieving those things now, whether you know about exactly what you're grieving or not. Because listen, Lord, if I'm saying something wrong, I apologize ahead of time, but I really feel you on this. In this transition season where God is elevating people and moving them around and shifting them into different parts of where they need to be in their life, you don't have time to cry. You don't have time to grieve. You don't have time where he's going to take you. Where he's taking you, it's going to be time to rest and then go. Rest and then go. We won't have time to get stuck back into what happened 10 years ago. We won't have time to get stuck at the death of our parents, because the scripture even talks about that. There's nothing you can do when somebody dies. There's nothing you can do. You sitting there and grieving in that moment for years and years and years keeps you from moving forward. You have got to let it go. You have got to let it go. Those old relationships, those deaths, the loss of things, those bad relationships, what he or she said to you 20 years ago, you've got to let it go. God wants so much more for you. I was talking to my homegirl about, the death of my ex-husband. Like, if I could really put it to y'all, I would never say that I was happy that he died. I could not say that because I'm not happy about it, but it was a relief. Because nobody knew behind closed doors. Like, everybody could say whatever they wanted to say about me concerning that. But what I do know is I did right by him. Even I was still really acting as his wife outside of even having sex with him, because we didn't have sex once he came home. Our divorcement was clean. But I was still acting as his wife. Till death do us part, I was still doing medicine for him. Going over to his house, I was still cooking for him. I was still going to the store for him. I was still doing wifely things for him, even though we were divorced. And it was extremely hard on me. And a lot of people couldn't understand, oh my gosh, you're not crying, you're not grieving, because they weren't there. They weren't there the 4.5 years he was gone to prison. They weren't there when I didn't have any money. They weren't there in a lot of different situations. Right? But you know what? I'm sad that he's gone, because for our daughter, she doesn't have a father. But what I do know is that God is a replacer of all things. So that's why we can't grieve. And a lot of the times when we do have losses, they're not really losses. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. Because sometimes we get into certain things with people and you want things to be conceived and things to happen, but we're with the wrong people. God is not, he's going to shut up some things when you're connected to the wrong people. Ask me how I know. I would only be able to go so far with Boo because we were not supposed to be connected. But did he bless us with a daughter? Absolutely, because he knew what I needed when he was taken away. God knew what I needed. He knew what I needed. And God knows what you need. And so don't be, I don't went all off topic, but somebody needs to hear it. So I just want to say, in this season, you're going to have to come out of comfort. You're going to have to. You're going to have to. And the longer you stay in that comfortable position, you're going to be miserable. You're only going to be just living here. Just okay. And just having like little highlights of things. Oh, okay, this was a good day. Okay, this is good. Okay, I'm happy today, but then I'm just existing. Like I told my homegirl today, I don't want to be around anybody who is not helping me do better. Like my homegirl said, you need to walk. I'm going to text you when I walk so you can walk. Because she knows we need to be healthy. We have to be healthy. Kennedy is I'm the only parent Kennedy has. It's just me and her. I've got to take care of myself. I have to. Her daddy did not. He did not. So I have to take care of myself mentally, spiritually, and physically. So do I like when my friends come and get onto me? No. When they check me and say, Ray, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Do I like hearing that all the time? No. But guess what? I listen. I stick it in my back pocket and pull it out when I need to. I'll say, you know what? You was right. I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to do better. And that's what the type of people I want around me. The ones who want to do better, who want to get uncomfortable, who want to fix it. Because I do understand we need to pray, but faith without works is dead. We can, like I said yesterday, we have to do our part. And if you're not in a situation, in a position where you are doing everything that you know to do, and you're complaining about what's going on, no. We ain't talking about nothing, because you're not trying to do anything different. You don't have any money. You're broke. Let's figure out why. Are you overspending? Are you having discipline in this area? Are you buying too much? Because I know when my daughter was cutting up in school, guess what? I didn't have my eye on her like I was supposed to. Accountability. I didn't have accountability. And I'm not too big to come on here and say, you know what, I need to tighten up. Because my daughter's getting ready to be out of school soon. And she's got a lot of different things she can do. So we need to tighten up on that. She doesn't have a value of $1. I was so mad yesterday. I bought like I'm going to say like 5 or 6 cans of ghee spray. Because I'm trying to, like, when I'm cooking, watching all the oil and all of that stuff. And ghee is really good. And you don't need a lot of it while you're cooking. So the bottles were like $8 a pop, but they're not selling them in the store anymore. So I'm going to cook her breakfast yesterday morning, and there's only like a bottle and a half left out of like 5 or 6 bottles. Now she does cook, but those bottles should last us for like 6 months, right? Why do I not have any? And I've spent all this money. She doesn't know the value of $1. So guess what? We had talked prior to me coming here, and I said, Kennedy, I'm going to give you 6 months to chill out and get your schoolwork and stuff together, but you're going to need to find a job. Okay, Mom. But now I've taken the 6 months off. Now you got to this weekend, because her grades are coming up. You got to this weekend. You're going to have to find a job, find 10 of them, and you're going to apply to all of them. Like, I have to have accountability, because see, I'll look up and be like so consumed in my stuff, so consumed in my business that she slipped through the cracks. She just going along to get along, and she's spending money and wanting all this stuff because she likes expensive things. And I can continue to buy them for her, but where is her responsibility at? She has none. She doesn't know the value of $1 until she starts spending her own. So guess what? You're about to get a job. I worked at 14. You are about to get a job, and you're going to start having to buy the things that you want, and also giving me, depending on how much money she makes, she's going to have to give me money for bills. She's going to think it's for bills, but when it's time for her to graduate, I'll probably put it in an IRA or something like that, and give it to her, or give her some when it's time for her to graduate, or get a car, or whatever it is. But she's going to have to learn the value of $1. And we as people need to learn how to take accountability for our actions, because at a certain age, everything is not everybody's fault. I live by that. I cannot continue to point the finger at you. When I'm pointing at you, 3 are pointing back at me. If I want to have a healthy relationship and be with a man or whatever, I have to make sure that I'm working on me, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And not even just for him, but for me. I have to be happy with myself before I'm happy with somebody else. But going back to being you, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. I don't know who needs to hear it today, but there is nothing wrong with you. The Lord said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And the great thing about all of us is all the experiences that we have had up to date and ongoing are tools that you can use to make you even greater. Why do you guys think y'all sitting on here watching me? Why? because I try my best to be authentic. If I was a bunch of fake and fluff, a lot of people wouldn't fool with me. And I want to be that person who you can get into a conversation with and not feel like I got to hold myself back, because if I say this, if I do this, she gon' feel a certain way. No. You be you. You be you. Your authenticity is what's going to make you money. Your authenticity is going to bring you in the rooms of kings and queens. Your authenticity is going to put you at the table around a lot of people. Ask me how I know. Your authenticity is going to say, you know what? I was thinking about you, so I wanted to put you in the room. I was thinking about you, so because there's something special about you. What you think is awkward is something special. That was good. That was good. What you think is awkward about you is something special that nobody else has. Because the word also says God takes the foolish things and confounds the wise. So what doesn't make sense to you, God can use that thing to help somebody else. Ask me how I know. There's a lot of the time, like I told you, I have like a slight lisp or whatever, and I have a birthmark or something on my tongue. For years, I did not want to talk. I did not want to talk in front of people because I felt like they were looking in my mouth all the time. I still have to deal with that sometimes. But here's the thing. I can't let that get in the way, because why? The enemy will try to shut my mouth and I have something to say. The enemy will try to shut my mouth. And when God puts something in my mouth to tell me, say this to my people, I can't be afraid. I can't be like, oh my gosh, they're going to think this. I don't care what you think. I can't. God has an assignment on my life to say, this is what he said. Because there's a lot of people. That's another reason when I have events, I don't say this is a God event. This is a Christian event. Because what I realize is everybody that I deal with are not Christian. Everybody that I deal with they don't believe in Jesus. But there's a reason why they don't. And I can understand why, because I've grown up in the church all my life. And I do understand that some church people are hypocrites. What I do understand is some church people judge. What I do understand is people. And people, because they haven't dealt with their past issues and their traumas, and they keep things quiet and on the hush, and then they want to come in and front like, oh, everything is great. And then the same thing that they're judging you for, they in the back doing it 10 times over. I've seen it. I've seen church people be nasty. But this is where I say we need to have a relationship with God. Because when we have a relationship with Jesus, he's going to download the things that we need to have, the things that we need to see, and we don't worry about people. Because people are flawed. God showed me that a long time ago. Like listen, I used to be a very jealous person. Listen, I wanted to be the one. That's why when I see women who I always try to come on my posts, or I always try to one up me, or I always got something to say. I always got something to say. You want to be the one. You want to be the one that somebody looks up to. But really, that's an insecure thing. Because if you know who you are, I ain't got to say nothing. All I got to do is walk in the room. That's good. Oh, that's good. I don't have to be jealous of you. Why? Because we're flawed. Even the prettiest of women are flawed. Even the prettiest of women don't feel good about themselves. And I've seen it time and time again. I've gone to events and I'm like, man, they seemingly have it together. But when they open their mouth, they are miserable because they have spent so much time looking good on the outside that their inside is tore up. I don't want that. I don't want that. The word says we're supposed to worship God in spirit and in truth. I want to live a truthful life. Listen, there's not too much I don't come on here and talk to y'all about. It really is not. And I'm telling you, I can pick up in the spirit sometime when I'm speaking to somebody. There's something that they need to talk about, and I will tell them something very personal about me that they'll be like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even think you went through that. Absolutely. But what I need you to do is be free from what you got going on, because a lot of the times when we do stuff, we're in shame. We feel shame. And when we're in shame, we pull ourselves back from God because we feel like God doesn't, I don't even know why I'm here, but we feel like we have to pull ourselves back from God because we've done certain things. Oh, I slept with this man's husband. Oh, I slept with this man's wife. Oh, I'm having feelings for this person. But we all make mistakes. And you'll hear people judge for the same things that they've done. Y'all, listen to me. Nobody can tell me nothing about stuff. Listen to me. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. And side note, never say what you'll never do. Oh, that was a good one for somebody. That was a good one for somebody. Never say what you'll never do, because you will be tested on that very thing. Ask me how I know. You'll be tested on it. And so we need to start doing a better job at two things: being our authentic self, and don't apologize for it. I'm actively working on it. Like I said, a lot of people will look at me and be like, oh my gosh, Regan, you got yourself together. And no, I don't. Like, I'm every day trying to get it together. I'm every day, like, I understand that I'm attractive, but there are some insecurities in me when I see, like, when men come around. Like, I'm telling y'all, the caliber of men here is on a whole nother level. These are Fortune 500 company men that they own companies. I've seen a black doctor who was 39 and had his own practice for 8 years, and he was fine. There's a man who owns a ride sharing company, owning over 100 cars. These are different type of men that I'm coming into contact with. And so from where I'm coming from, I have not seen that up close and personal. Where I'm coming from, I don't know. It feels like I don't know how to talk to them. So that's the insecurity. But some people will come on here and say, you know what? I don't feel comfortable telling people that I'm insecure. Why not? Because we all are in some regard. Quit trying to hide yourself from people. I don't want to hide anymore. Like, I want to live out loud. But living out loud comes with a cost. Living out loud comes for people. Oh, did you see what Regan said? But as we both know, if y'all follow Coach Stormy Wellington, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Matter of fact, she's making money off of people talking about her. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. You have to get in such a secure, and I don't condone anything that she said or did, but you have to get in such a secure place that you just don't care. You don't care. You don't care. A lot of people didn't agree with my move. I've lost some friends behind this move. I had a friend tell me when I told her that I was moving, she said, I want to be happy for you, but I can't be. This person of all people, I never would have thought she had said that. But what I do know is that God was giving me dreams. And it's like I didn't know who it was, but when he finally showed me, it was just like, you know, and now I have to deal with certain people with a long-handled spoon. All because of what God told me to do. And my time in Knoxville was up. That's right, Jessica. Somebody is going to have to say something regardless. Side note, never say what you'll never do, because you will be tested on it. Absolutely. And so for me, I want to have the fruit of saying Regan came from nothing, because I literally could not rub 2 pennies together. I couldn't. Regan came from nothing, and God has blessed her to go and live her wildest dreams. And I haven't even gotten to where God is about, but I know He is about to do something for my life and my child's life. I know it. I feel it in my spirit. But it's not just for me. It's for you watching. It's for you watching to know that you can do anything. You can come back from anything. But I implore you not to leave God out of it. I implore you not to leave Him out of it. And I'm talking about having a real relationship with Him. Even if you don't read your Bible every day. I don't. I'm not the perfect Christian. I'm not. I'm far from it. But what I do know is where my help comes from. What I do know is the things that He has shown me in my life are favor and grace. And He is the head of my life. He is the reason I am where I am. Do you understand? And what you guys will see is what He can do for you through me. Because it's only up from here. And I gotta And it sometimes it can be very frightening. I'm gonna be honest. It can be very frightening to say, you know what? I know God finna do this thing when I don't see it. And it's true faith. I mean, I'm definitely living on faith. For me, like I had a conversation, like I had a straight up conversation with God this past weekend. And I told you that after my girls trip, because I was like, I don't ever want to come before y'all and be hypocrites. Like I don't want to say certain things and that's not what it really is. Like, oh, Regan fronting. Like, she's fronting. She, you know, she's not who. No, I don't want to do that. Because I understand even if y'all come on here and not say something, people will watch me and never say anything. And those people I have helped. But what I do know is I have to stand on God. Because if I don't, like, I don't know nothing else. I don't know anything else. But I do know he's going to come through for me. He has been all these years. He's had me and he has you too. But I'm telling you, just talk to him in your spare time. Ask him, what does he want you to do? Like, I was praying because I'm telling you, I've worked since I was 14. I'm about to let y'all go because I'm about to go to work. I've worked since I was 14 and I'm 43 now. And I've only been out from work, like out of work during that whole time for 3 months. I've worked half my life, right? Over half my life. And I would always say like, man, I just want to work on my business. Like that's all I want to do is work on my business. Like I want to grow my business. And now God has given me what I've asked for. I don't have to work. A lot of people can't say that. And y'all still see me going to the spa and out to eat. I'm not lacking anything. I don't have to work if I don't want to. A lot of people can't say that. And I'm not even saying that to brag. I'm saying it to brag on him because it's hard. I'm going to be honest. It is hard for me not to get up and not have anything to really do. And so I said, Lord, in this season, what do you want me to do? Am I supposed to find a job? What am I supposed to do? Tell me, because I don't want to get up aimlessly like I Uber or whatever just to have whatever money so I don't have to dip into my side money. But what you want me to do? And as soon as I asked that, he answered my question through a dream. I didn't understand parts of it. So I called my cousin or text my cousin. I said, this is my dream. Tell me what it means. He said, it has nothing to do with your job. You need to go back and revisit some things that you dropped. Because patience is not your virtue. You like to have things right then. And I do. That's why it's kind of hard for me to adapt and kind of be like, let me get myself together, because I want to always have myself together. I want it done in an instant, but it doesn't work that way. Things take time. And so that's why he's giving me time to rest, time to work on my business. So then I get a call from my ex-husband's sister. They're not really sisters, but they grew up together from back home. She lives here. And so we were on the phone for over 2 hours. Listen to me. I told her about my dream. We started talking and she gave me all this stuff. She said, Regan, you are supposed to be working on your business. How many people have 8 hours a day? Can you imagine if some people had 8 hours a day to work on just what they want to work on, their business, what God gave them? And I said, oh, okay. So that's when I say, God, we're all in transition right now. I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you go. We're all in transition right now. But if I were you, if I can give you just a little bit, just a little help today, if I can give you just a little bit, go and talk to God and say, what do you want me to do concerning whatever situation you have going on? Show me so I know it's you. Because one thing I know about God is he made you. He knows how you listen. He knows what you look for. He knows how to get your attention. How I'm talking to you, you ain't got to get deep. Tell him I sent you, okay? Because I need some help on my end. Tell him I sent you and just go talk to him. Lord, I need to talk to you about my situation. This is happening. I need clarification on this. And I'm telling you, he's not taking a long time to answer in this season because really, he's been waiting for you. Oh, he's been waiting on you. Those things you thought that were really, really bad, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it's kept you from talking to him. He's been waiting to hear from you. He's your dad. It's like you having a kid and your kid got mad at you or did something bad, and so because your kid did something bad, they stopped talking to you. Can you imagine your child walking around the house and every day and your child is not talking to you? That's awkward. And it's also hurtful because why? No matter what your child does, you're going to always love them, right? You're going to always love them. And you want to hear from your child. That's how we have to look at God. You are his child. You're his child. And he wants to hear from you. And so go holler at him. It don't have to be formal with all the scriptures and stuff. We can get to that later. Because sometimes we do need to pray the word. We're not on that today. We on just go holler at him. And the most, to be really honest, and I've said this before, I'm going to say this and get out your way. The most effective prayers that I have had to God is how I'm talking to you. Lord, you see what's wrong with me. You know I don't have no business X, Y, and Z. And I need some help. I need some clarity. When I asked him about the job, he not sent me not only a dream, but 2 people, 3 things that confirm I don't need you to work right now. Even with my apartment, like I was trying to go, like I'm in a nice, very nice apartment. And I was trying to go and buy all these things and make it home. He was like 2 days later, he gave me a dream and said, you're not even going to be there that long. You don't need to buy all of that stuff. My apartment is extremely bare, but the same feeling that I got from my house with not decorating once I got it remodeled is the same feeling I get here. Don't buy all of that stuff. You're not getting ready to be here that long. Either you finna be married and in another house or you about to buy another house. Don't do all of that. So God will give you clear instructions, and we don't have to walk around here with a bobblehead like, Lord, I don't know, and sitting up here depressed, but you ain't never even asked him because you're sitting up here thinking he mad at you. Disappointed maybe, but never mad. Could be mad, but it's just like, again, your children make you mad. We as parents, we're not going to stop talking to you. We're still not going to not love you. We're still going to give you direction and guidance if you have decent parenting skills. But long story short, it is time for you to be you. Bottom line. It's time for you to be you unapologetically. God wants to do some things in your life. And your life is not your own. Okay? Your life is not your own. He is waiting for you to get out of your rut and listen to him and do what you're supposed to do so you can bless other people. So I'm going back to work for a minute to Uber a little bit. And I'm putting myself out there this weekend. Like, I have a couple of like lunch dates, not dates, but that's coming up soon, but lunch dates. And just putting myself out there and starting to go to events by myself and talking to people and getting uncomfortable. You're going to keep hearing this from me because I'm getting uncomfortable and doing things that I don't want to do. I don't like starting those conversations. I am very awkward sometimes in situations. I like to shun to the back, but guess what? This is a season where God is pushing us to the front, and we have to be ready for that. We have to get our blinders off and don't care what people think. And yes, it's very uncomfortable to be seen by a lot of people, but it doesn't matter. Do you care what God thinks or people? And people can't send you to no heaven or hell. You hear me? I just saying. So we're going to work at this thing together because I'm working on it too. Anyway, I'm going to hop off here. You guys have a blessed day. I hope I helped just one person. You guys have a good one. This is Regan Adams with All Things Regan. And Regan says, I think it, I see it, and I do it. Bye.